Hello and welcome to today's career chat. I am Shannon Crooks, a librarian 3 at the Hillcrest Heights branch for the Prince George's County Memorial Library System. Today we have Tonya Booker with us today. She's an esthetician and she's going to be telling us a little bit about her career. So if you are a teenager, watch along. You may have tips that you can pick up along the way for you to look into this career in the future. If you're an adult, maybe you're looking to switch careers, or maybe this is just an interest of yours just to see what it's like to be an esthetician. Either way, enjoy the show. We're going to go through about 14 questions, and Tanya's going to give us her insights, excuse me, on what it's like to be in her profession. Okay, so Tonya, um, tell us what an esthetician is, because a lot of people don't know what it is, and what are your job duties and responsibilities?
Okay, so an esthetician is basically a skincare expert almost. We're not a dermatologist, but we are able to pinpoint certain things going wrong with your skin or things that are going great with your skin. Also, with dealing with skincare, I also do makeup, so I'm a makeup artist as well. And I do a lot of waxing.
Hmm.
Waxing is a really big one, and I mean the full body. Anything on the body, I wax it.
Okay, so that must be very popular for people to come to you for waxing services.
Definitely in the summer and springtime.
Okay,
Definitely.
okay. So how long have you been working in this industry, Tanya?
So I have been a licensed esthetician for about a year and a half, and I've been a makeup artist for about 4 years.
Okay. So when you was looking into this, what was your educational path from high school to where you are now?
Oh my God, it had nothing to do with this.
Wow.
It had nothing to do with this. I initially started school as a biology major.
Mhm.
Had nothing to do with this.
Wow.
I was also doing business as well. And then later on, I was kind of bored with it,
Mhm.
and I found a gift. So I started doing makeup. I started learning more about makeup, but I wanted to know more about makeup. Not so much for my skin type, but for everybody's skin type. People that I'm not really familiar with. So I said, you know what I want to do, I want to be a perfectionist. I am a perfectionist.
Mhm.
So I want to make sure that when I do something, it is completely legit. I have all of the credentials to go behind it. If I'm going to charge this amount, if I'm going to call myself what I call myself.
Mhm.
And I just ended up going to school. And then a year later, here we are. I went to school for makeup, and majority of my clients, I'm waxing them.
Wow.
I don't even know how I got here, but I'm here.
Wow. So what type of school do you have to go to be an esthetician or makeup artist, and how long do you have to go to school for?
So I went to Kenneth Schuler,
Mhm.
and it's also called School of Cosmetology.
Okay.
Um, to be a licensed esthetician, you have to have 600 credit hours. So I started in April of 2018, and I graduated in December of 2018 because I was still working a full-time job
Mhm.
and going to school part-time. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
with 2 kids.
Wow. You go, girl.
I don't know how I did it. I do
Wow.
not know.
Dedication and perseverance, I'm sure.
Yes, a lot.
Is it expensive to go to school for esthetician and makeup artists? Are there scholarships out there?
There are grants.
Okay.
I was lucky to get some grants,
Mhm.
but I think when I was in school 2 years ago, I think it was a little bit under $10,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does the school work with you to make payments for school?
Um, yeah, they do. Um, but it's more so when you actually start the school, it financial aid pretty much takes over.
Okay.
So it's not like you have to pay everything, you know, well, with my grants and everything, financial aid just took care of everything.
Okay.
So I didn't really have any issues. Now, as for people who didn't have any assistance or anything like that, I don't really know.
Oh, okay.
But I'm
But
sure they would work with them. I'm sure.
there's financial aid available. So, okay,
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question, Tonya. How did you get interested in your profession? You told us a little bit about that, but what else can you tell us?
So I've always been a girly girl,
Hmm.
and I just like playing in makeup. And people will always say, they would always say, "You do your makeup so well," and I'd be like, "Really, really?" And I kept hearing it a lot. And then I would be at my regular job, and my friends, they would see me putting on my makeup before I start work. And they'd be like, "Tonya, can you come over here and do my eyebrows?" I was like, "Well, I'll try."
Hmm.
And it worked. And I was like, "Oh man, I think I'm on to something." So I just kept practicing, kept practicing, kept practicing. Signed up for some courses, signed up for some classes, and then I just kept practicing. I would do things. I would look up certain things going around in the area, ask them if they needed a makeup artist or something like that, and do it for free. I just wanted to practice.
Hmm.
So that's how I kind of got started with the makeup. Now, as for the aesthetics part, um, I really went to school, like I said, to learn more about makeup, but they taught me so much about skincare. I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. I can do this. And then they got to the waxing part, and I was like, ooh, I like the waxing part. So
Hmm.
I was like, let me keep learning more about this waxing thing, because I might be on to something. And that's what happened. I just kept practicing, and here I am. A lot
Wow.
of
Yes.
practice.
So viewers, Tanya gave us a really great point is that she turned her hobby into her profession. So she started off with something that she really liked. She started asking people if they were willing to allow her to perfect her craft for free. And she was able to get some experience. She was able to network. Network is a big thing that we have been talking about throughout all of our career chats. And she was just able to see if this is something she really wanted to pursue further. So my advice to you is if you have a hobby you're interested in, try to see if you can turn it into a career. If it's something you enjoy doing, is something you want to do, then you will, it won't feel like work. So essentially, if you have something that you want to pursue, do your research first and see what's out there. Take some classes like Tanya has talked about, and then try to get some practice in. So great point, Tanya. Next question is, how much time did you invest into getting to where you are now?
I can't tell you, um, because I'm still throwing myself into it.
Hmm.
It's a never-ending thing. Just getting the license, it took about a year, because after you graduate, you have to wait a second, and then you have to take your test, and then, well, the written test, and then you have to go to state board and pass the actual test where you're actually there.
Hmm.
And then you have to wait to get your license. So I know that was almost a whole year just to do that. But after that, um, you still have to keep doing what you learn, or else you'll forget it. So countless hours. I don't even have a actual amount. Just understand, it took it's hard work. Anything that you are focused on and you're driven and you're super duper interested in, and you just have a passion for it,
Hmm.
it's never ending.
Hmm.
So, you just continue to do better. You continue to learn more about your craft. Um, it's not a certain time frame or allotted amount to get here. It's just a lot a lot of work and perseverance to get here.
Wow.
And determination and
Yes.
discipline,
Yes. So you
all of
bring
that.
a lot of great points. So just try to stay motivated. If you are going after a career, maybe you are post COVID, well, we're still in COVID, but maybe you lost your job during COVID and you're looking to pursue something different. Just stay motivated, keep at it, keep talking to people, take classes, and just do your best and try. So um, that's a great point, is to stay determined, basically. I know a lot of times we decide we want to pursue a career and then we realize that it's a lot of work that we have to put into it, a lot of extra hours, a lot of things we have to put aside, maybe spending time with friends or family to study or to practice and prep. So just stay motivated, whatever it is you're going after. Just stay motivated and dedicated towards trying to get to where you want to be. Okay, Tonya. So next question is, what kind of obstacles did you face in the pursuit of your profession?
A good support system. So of course I have two kids. I work a full-time job. Um, and my parents are older and I didn't really want to put that burden on them,
Mhm,
but at the end of the day they saw that I really wanted to do this and they agreed to help. I also had some friends as well that would help me,
mhm,
but I didn't want to put a burden on them.
mhm,
So it was sometimes when I would have to be to work and I would have to be at school right after work, and my regular schedule was like 7:30 to 4:30, and then school was from 5 o'clock to 9:30, and that was 3 days a week, and then all day on Saturday.
wow,
um, so while I was in school, like prior to signing up to school, I was actually doing, makeup on the side. I was always booked on the weekend, so I couldn't really do that. And when I was in school, people would want to come in and get their makeup done, but of course, it's charged. It's a lesser amount than what I'm used to charging.
mhm,
Um, but a support system was hard at first, but then it came along. Um, Sometimes when my parents got sick, I missed school. And when I missed school, somehow I had to make it up. And if that meant sometimes I had to take PTO, personal time off at the job, leave early, and then go to the school and be there all night. And then I think one of the biggest things is I wasn't really around my kids the way I wanted to. So
mhm,
they grew so much in almost a 8-9 month time frame,
mhm,
and I don't think they really understood what their mom was doing. But I'm like, oh my god, y'all can't understand it right now, but I'm doing this for us. um,
mhm,
your mommy is going to build a legacy. So I'm sacrificing this right now for something that's going to have some longevity and it's going to be purposeful. So I think those are the two main things. So
mhm,
and time, I never had time to myself because
mhm.
I was either at work, at school, studying and doing things like that. So those were the obstacles, the biggest.
Yes, so we've talked several weeks with our viewers about support system. It is so important that you start to build your support system, your network of friends, so that if you need someone to lean on, like Tonya has talked about for childcare or just for support in general, you have those people there ready and waiting to help you along the way. Then Tonya also talks about time management. You have to make sure that you manage your time. That may mean if you are working a full-time job, adult viewers, you may have to talk to your employer about you starting school or starting a program or certification, and you may need certain days off, or maybe they offer something where you can work from home so that you can also do your classes and coursework. So just being prepared and planning ahead, being organized to try to get those things done. And then you also talked about just being dedicated and saying, I have to say no to some things in order to say yes to school, in order to say yes to my job. I have to talk to my kids. So viewers, you may have to talk to your family and say, hey, we're going to have to work together in this. This is something long term. This is going to benefit us as a whole. So we may have to rearrange some things. I may not be available as much as I was before. But in the end, when I get to the end, we can spend more time together. Maybe there will be more money or cash flow for us to be able to do things. So just having those conversations with your loved ones about any type of career changes or any type of school or educational program you want to enter in is very important. So thank you for that, Tonya. Okay, so what advice do you have for someone wanting to do what you do?
Um, I would first say that if for any reason, you decide that you want to go into this field, it's a great field. It's tons of money to be made.
Mhm,
Um, it is very saturated. Everywhere you look, there's an esthetician. Everywhere you look, there's a makeup artist. But the
mhm,
good thing is, um, what you offer and what you bring, one person may not particularly like, but you'll have someone over there that's going to love it.
mhm,
So your gift will make room for you. Also, if you know that this is something that you really, really want to do, you get to save a lot of money instead of just going to college and going to technical colleges and spending all of this money unnecessarily that you will have to pay back.
mhm,
Go to a trade school, take this trade and learn as much about it as you can. And in the long run, it'll be very, very beneficial. One, you've saved yourself a lot of money. Two, you're actually doing something that you enjoy. And it's a different feeling when you're doing something that you're passionate about and you love doing it. Because when you're passionate about it, it never feels like work. You're never like, oh my God, I gotta go in here. You're not like that. You're like, when you're doing something you're like, oh man, yes, I am about to get up. I'm about to kill this today. It's gonna be amazing.
mhm.
And how many do I have today? Oh man, I like this. And then you just set personal goals for yourself and you just hype. You are so hyped up. You're like, man, who would have ever knew that someone would pay me for something that I'm actually good at? So it's a good feeling. If this is something you want to do, cut out all the additional money, um, student loans and things like that,
Mhm.
um, and become an entrepreneur. Is nothing more fulfilling than working for yourself.
Mm. You bring up several great points about being financially responsible, is what we're talking about here. So, young people, if you're in high school, right now is the time for you to start thinking about what you want to do as a career. Don't feel pressured to go to college if you really don't want to. It is very expensive. Student loans, as Tonya has mentioned, is something that you will have to pay really mostly for the rest of your life if you have to pay them. And it can be thousands of dollars. So if you choose a trade, such as being an esthetician or a makeup artist or a cosmetology, like we've been talking about today, you will save yourself thousands of dollars that you could put towards maybe purchasing a home or purchasing a car or caring for your kids or your family. So it just has a lot of benefits to it. A lot of people don't talk about trades very often. And on this show, we're trying to bring various careers so that you can have the opportunity to see what's out there. An esthetician and a makeup artist can make thousands, millions of dollars. There are some famous ones out there who are making lots of money and they have never set foot on a college campus. So it's possible for you to make the money you want to make. It just depends on your dedication, your motivation, your willingness to get out there and learn all you can learn about the profession. So thank you for that, Tanya. Very important. Next question is, where have you worked within the industry?
So, um, I actually I do freelance. So here I actually worked Greenville Fashion Week. That is a big fashion show here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
I also did Pastor Aventer Gray makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I work with some of the high schools when they're having special events. I think a year or so ago, I worked an event where it was for people with special needs.
Okay.
Also, I have a upcoming event where I am doing some makeup for some cancer survivors.
Ooh.
Um, so yeah, that's some of the things or places I've actually had the opportunity of working.
Okay, so some of our viewers may not know what the word freelance means. So tell us what that means and how do you get support on doing that or getting your name out there for it?
Okay, so freelance, it's just me. I work on my own terms. I
Mhm.
charge what I want to charge. I go where I want to go and I don't go where I don't want to go. I set my own terms. In order for someone to figure out in order for someone to find out who I am,
Mhm.
um, I had to do a lot of social media presence.
Mm.
Um, so social media with business is a really big thing.
Mhm.
So I have a Facebook page, a business page, and my personal page as well. Um, I also have an Instagram page, business as well. So I really had to do a lot of promotions. Sometimes I would go into people inboxes and offer them certain things.
Mhm.
I would post certain things to get people in there. Another thing, I actually started a Groupon. When I first started my business last year, I was like, okay, I have people that know me for makeup, but
Mhm.
there's more to me than just makeup. So I need other people to find me. I'm located in a good location, um, but no one knows who I am. I'm
Mhm.
new. I'm just trying to get my foot in there. So I
Mhm.
actually did a Groupon ad. Now, financially, it does not make sense.
Oh, okay.
Um, Groupon is heavily discounted.
Mhm.
So if you charge $60 for a service, they automatically slash that in half.
Wow.
On top of slashing that in half, um, they'll slash $30 in half as well.
Mm.
So you're not getting paid a lot, but it's a 50-50 chance if you kill that session, if you completely execute it and you go above and beyond and the client or the customer is amazed,
Mhm.
then you have the opportunity to rebook them and they can actually potentially become your client.
Mm.
So I did that last summer and
Mhm.
it brought a lot of people to me. I had so many vouchers. The demand versus my supply, it was too much for me. So I had to go in, I had to adjust the vouchers. So I went from maybe like 60 vouchers a month to like 20.
Wow.
um while those clients were coming in, and then you still had word of mouth, and then
Mhm.
anytime I would post something on my page, my friends would grab it and they would share it, and they'll pass it along and say, hey, check out my friend, she's amazing, she's located here, and things like that, doing things that friends do,
Mhm.
being supportive.
Mhm.
um so though that is something I actually did to try to, get my name out there. Social media is, I honestly, I don't think there's a way around it.
Mm.
If you're not a popular person, you have no other way, I don't think, to get yourself out there, but to start building a community
Mm.
on social media to get people to see who you are. And you have to be consistent with it. You
Mhm.
can't just go on there today and then don't go back until Saturday or Sunday. You have to stay relevant. I mean, post 2 or 3 times a day on all of your pages. Give different content. I might post a makeup picture at 8 o'clock in the morning. At 12 o'clock noon, I might post a waxing picture. At 3 o'clock, I might post something engaging to get people to answer questions and things like that. You have to figure out the algorithms with Instagram and Facebook. Sometimes you just have to check your insights and see, well, when are the people looking at my post? At what time? Pick that up and see, you know, okay, well, I see most of my content is being viewed at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. Those are the times that I need to post. Those are the times that people are most engaged with my page. So that's what I do. You just have to stay very, very relevant and consistent.
You gave several good points. So, young people, I know you are heavily involved in social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So, right now is the time for you, if you are thinking about starting a business or promoting yourself, is to pay attention when you post things, what time you post, how many views you get. And then think about, is this something you really want to do? If you want to own your own business, that's something that you would be doing. If you enjoy doing it personally, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you do, it's something that you can incorporate in a small business in the future, or in any business really, because most people are on social media. I also like that you talked about Groupon. I never really understood how Groupon works. I just know that a lot of people use it and it is a huge discount to the consumer. So you broke it down for us today. And so if I have small business owners watching, think about Groupon, because Tonya made a very good point. She networked with people while she was giving them a service heavily discounted. She knew she wasn't going to make the money that she was supposed to make or what she's valued to make, but she still did it because what was valued to her was the relationship she built with people and the customer base she built, which she continues to build on now each month by doing Groupon at a smaller percentage of people. So look into Groupon. Thank you for that. I never knew how it worked. I just thought that the people who post on there, they get all the money. I didn't know that there was a percentage that Groupon takes. I did not know that. That's
Groupon is basically marketing your business for you. So they pretty much take everything. Now, I don't do Groupon anymore. Um, I think I am actually good with, posting on social media and things like that. But when you're just starting off and you're getting your foot out there, sometimes, that's a good risk. That's a good risk to take. You just have to formulate it to where to be somewhat, good for you. So I wouldn't, if you know the services that you're providing, it's not a good thing for you to have 70, 75, 60, 50 vouchers. You might have to bring it down a little bit.
okay.
But other than that, I think it's a great thing to do. Groupon markets you. It's not they tell you it's free, but you're paying for it. But if you set a certain time frame and you do what it is that you need to do and what you're supposed to do, and you got whatever is in your head, like, this is what I'm going to do, this is my goal, then you just stick to it and you keep going.
Yes, consistency is key. Wow, amazing. Thank you for that. So Tonya, can you compare and contrast different jobs you've had along your career path?
So the current job that I currently work as a full-time job. I've been there 10 years, and I have been in several different departments. Um, and sometimes you get into, how can I say? Okay, you have bills.
Yes,
You have responsibilities.
yes,
These bills do not care where you're working. They
exactly.
just want to be paid.
Right.
So I'm there. Um, is it something that I want to do for the rest of my life? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
But while I'm there, I'm going to give it my best, because that's what they pay me for.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a lot of jobs. I kind of get there and I kind of stay there. I like stability,
Mm-hmm.
especially if there's room to continue to advance.
Right.
Um, so the job that I have right now, I'm bored. I'm so bored. I promise. I really think I have ADD. My attention span is just horrible. So right now it is a job that definitely pays the bills, but I'm still blessed and thankful for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, versus what I do on the weekends at my place of business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited. So excited. I never of course I know what I'm going to do that day because I'm looking at the schedule, but it's never the same thing. It is always something different. Always. Um it's never a dull moment. I love engaging with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a good personality for this. I think it's definitely a people job. Um my other job, I mean my full-time job, it is I don't have to really deal with people on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
I just do my accounts, submit them, and then I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot of communication or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
which that's a good part. I don't
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about dealing with a lot of different personalities depending on how their day is going, and
Mm-hmm.
so that works well.
Okay.
um but again, nothing compares to my business, my baby. That's because she's my baby. Like I birthed her, and I'm growing her. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I can say about that.
So, are you looking to eventually leave your full-time job and be a full-time esthetician? Is that your goal? Ultimate end goal, huh?
Yes. COVID totally messed up my plans this year.
Okay.
Totally. COVID came in and said, "No, you're not leaving this year." And I was like, "Well, okay." Like, okay.
Wow.
So, that is definitely the goal. And I think my supervisors and managers, they kind of know it as well.
Mhm.
We definitely have a open relationship. As a matter of fact, my old supervisor is the one who pushed me into going to school. She was like, "Booker, you should do it." I said, "Girl, I don't have the support system to do it." She said, "Oh, your mother will do it." I said, "Girl, you don't know my mother. You don't know her." She's like, your mom and your dad will help you." I
Mhm.
said, "Okay, girl, I'm gonna think about it." And she kept pushing me. Like every month, she'll be like, "Booker, have you enrolled?" I said, "No, girl, no." And then, and then finally, she's like, "Booker, are you enrolling?" I said, "I just put in vacation time to go to the school, whatever day it was, the next day." She said,
Mhm.
"Oh my God, I'm so excited." And I came back the next day with the paperwork and I had everything filled out.
Mhm.
And I started in the next few months. So
Mhm.
my job, they were very, very understanding. Like my immediate supervisor and managers, TLs, they were awesome. They were awesome, awesome. Even when I graduated, and they knew I graduated, they decorated my desk with
Aw.
balloons, and I had cake and all time. I said, "Oh my God, y'all actually love me. This makes me feel good."
You bring
Yes.
up an excellent point is that, your jobs, they will support you if they feel like, you're really interested and motivated towards going in a different direction career-wise. They will support you. Ultimately, they want you to succeed, whether it be with them or with someone else or in a different profession or career. So I know a lot of times people are worried that, okay, I go to school for this certification or for this trade or this degree, is my job going to support me when I have to be off to do classes, or when I have to leave early to get to class, or when I have to just take extended leave? They will support you. If you have a relationship with your supervisor, sit down and talk with them and say, hey, this is my ultimate career goal. It is not the path that I'm on now here at this particular organization or company, but will you support me if I decide I want to go back to school, or if I decide I want to go for a certification? And 9 times out of 10, they will. They want to support you. When you go for your evaluations, your professional evaluations, or your annual reviews, a lot of times they ask you, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? And it doesn't always have to align with the organization. It could be your own personal career goal. So I urge you to talk with your supervisors and your administrators to see if they will work with you to try to achieve your goals. Excellent point, Tonya. And I'm glad you had that support from your coworkers. That means a lot, because you're with them, what, 75?
80% of the job of the
Yeah,
day, like
yeah,
they see me more than my kids sometimes do.
right. So they're essentially your support system.
And your family.
And your family.
Well, some of them, not all. Be
Now,
clear.
this next question is related to a little bit about what you started to talk about with COVID. So, how has your field changed in the face of COVID?
My field really hasn't changed. Prior to COVID, I had to do a lot of disinfecting. I had to do a
Mm,
lot of sterilization. Um, because of the things that I do, I'm dealing with body parts, private parts. So I have to make sure that I keep a very clean environment.
mm,
Also, my business is booming.
mm,
Um, I tried to tell the people that I am essential, but they were not trying to listen to me at first. I am very essential.
yeah.
Um, when I when I opened up,
Mhm,
prior to me opening up, I had so many people inbox me, Tonya, girl, I need a wax. I said, oh girl, I'm shut down. I can't do nothing.
mm.
Can't do anything. I need my license and I can't lose it because you need a wax right now.
Right.
And soon as I opened my doors, I was just booked, just completely booked. And I opened back up like May 22nd.
Hmm.
I have not missed a beat. I have had so many new clients. Every week that I go in there, I get new clients. When I check my emails, I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't even, I, I'm going to have to change how I schedule, because sometimes, normally I try to book my clients out every 2 weeks, but
Hmm.
sometimes a client will call in and I have to alter the schedule. And
Hmm.
then within that time frame, people just slide in and
Hmm.
they book. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know what I have going on that day. So people have free reign of just booking. And I love getting up in the morning and I'm
Hmm.
like, it is amazing making money in my sleep. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just sleep and I'm making money. So COVID, even though it's a horrible thing
Hmm.
for my business, it has been very, very good. Very
Wow.
good.
Wow.
I don't think I've been this busy. I wasn't this busy last year, but of course, I was building my business last year.
Hmm.
And still building it now, but it's definitely growing.
Wow.
Um, I was looking at my Google stats where it shows how many people are looking and searching and viewing, and how many people have, how much traffic you have on your website and
Hmm.
all of that information. And versus where I had it last year, I may have had 200 or 300 people that might view me.
Hmm.
Whereas last month, this just now is thousands that are actually
Wow.
seeing me.
Awesome.
And they call
Hmm.
and they text and they email. And I try to have a good 24-hour turnaround time. I don't like to have people waiting.
Hmm.
I think is very professional to respond back in a timely manner.
Hmm.
Um, And with me having a full-time job and a mom, sometimes that balance is just crazy, but I
Mhm,
have to make sure I do it.
mhm.
But COVID has actually definitely made my business better.
Wow, that's very interesting. And so, viewers, if you're thinking that people are not investing in themselves post COVID, during COVID, they are, and they are spending money. So, if you're thinking about going into a career or a business for yourself, now is the time to start planning. Get your plan together, do your research, because a lot of small business owners are reaching levels that they never thought they would reach in such a small amount of time because of the pandemic. So you could easily start now and be up and running maybe in a year or two, and then see your business grow from here on out. So thank you for bringing that point up, because I think a lot of people might be afraid to start a small business because of the pandemic, but now's the time really to start being creative and thinking outside of the box, because several businesses are booming right now.
And I will say that starting a business is scary anyway.
Hmm.
Post COVID, during COVID, it's scary, but you definitely have to take that jump.
Mm, yes. So faith over fear, I guess, or believing in yourself over fear is the thing to do, which can be hard, especially if it's something new, you've never done it before. But just believing in yourself is what needs to happen, or what can happen. And your support system, as Tonya has told us, her parents, her family members, her coworkers, all continue to motivate and push her, hear her ideas, and now look at where she is. She has her own successful business. She's about to transition one day from her full-time position over to being a full-time esthetician. That is huge. And it all started off from a hobby that you enjoy doing, which is, wow, amazing. Most people do hobbies and they don't even think past the hobby. They don't think this could actually be a career, or I could actually start my own business. And you did that. You started to think outside of the box and branch yourself out there, put yourself out there, shall I say. And
That's
you
it.
are very successful. That is awesome. And I hope others will be motivated to try to do the same. So, Tonya, how can young people who are still in school find possible volunteer opportunities to get started in becoming an esthetician or makeup artist?
When I was in high school, we used to have um it was for your what are the class your electives.
Hmm.
I think it was called Golden Strip,
Hmm.
and they would allow you to do cosmetology. They would allow you to do, if you're working for like auto mechanics, things like that. I
Hmm.
think you definitely want to check with your school first
Hmm.
and see what things they offer.
Okay.
Also, if you see something that you're interested in, if you see a person that's actually in that field, don't be afraid to reach out to them. Send
Hmm.
them an inbox and say, "Hey, I've been watching you. I admire you. This is something that I could possibly see myself doing in my future.
Hmm.
Um, would you mind if I shadow you?
Hmm.
Um, or I could possibly be a assistant.
Hmm.
Um, I don't have to get paid. I just want to get the knowledge, you
Okay.
know. And some people are actually willing to do that. Because you'll be surprised when you're running everything by yourself. Sometimes a little bit of help is amazing.
Mm.
Um, and you never know what type of opportunities will bloom from that.
Mhm.
If I knew this before, all these years ago, I definitely I definitely would have did this. But I also, when I started doing makeup, I reached out to one of my friends and I asked her, I was like, "Hey, can I shadow you? I
Mhm.
just want to see what you do. I want to see how you do it." And she kind of just took me under her wings,
Mhm.
and it was amazing. I learned so much.
Oh,
Um, so I would definitely try those things. Check with your school first. And then if you see someone that is in a field that you're interested in, reach out to them. It's tons of people that are being in your field. One person may not respond, two people, 10, eventually someone will say yes. All
Yeah.
you need is one yes,
Yes.
and you're in there.
Thank you for that. So young people, we've talked about internships before, but we've never talked about shadowing. So it's very important that you um, take it seriously. If you're very interested in doing something, reach out to someone who's doing it, or reach out to an organization that you know is involved in what you like doing, and see if they're willing to have you there for a day or two. And then you never know what that could lead to. They could say, hey, I like having you here. You seem like a great person, a great fit for maybe being an assistant, or working alongside me for the summer. Anything could happen. You start building your network of people who are in the industry now, so that later you can lean on them for support. Maybe you want to learn a skill, or maybe you want to be a part of some type of certification program. They're there for you, and they can offer you those tools and tips, and just give you a foundation of where to start. So that was amazing, Tonya. Thank you for that. Next question, Tonya, is what are some key skills that young people should think about acquiring that apply to all career fields?
I think you need to have good social skills. Um, have a very nice personality.
Mm-hmm.
Know how to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Have a sense of humbleness to you as well. We don't know everything. Um,
Very true.
know everything. I learn daily,
Mm-hmm.
and never get so big headed to the point where you feel like you can't be taught anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those are few. In my industry, um, sometimes you have to actually have a talent. Sometimes it can be taught. Other people just have a natural talent.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to school, they didn't teach me a lot about makeup, so I had to learn that on my own. Um, so if you're actually going, if you want to go to school, sometimes the thing that you are actually looking at doing the most, they may not be able to provide a in-depth situation for you. Their curriculum might be just 20 pages of makeup, which for me, it may have been like 20 pages of makeup, and that was it. But it's hundreds of pages on skincare and skincare disorders, and um, skin types and hair types, follicles, all types of things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so these are some of the things you might want to look into for that. But definitely have a good personality,
Mm-hmm.
be willing to learn, um, be willing to accept constructive criticism as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it goes a long way. And if you really, really accept it and you listen, it makes you better.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Great point. We haven't talked about constructive criticism during our career chats, but it's very important. And basically, what it is, young people, if you're listening, is when someone tells you, hey, you did X, Y, and Z this way, maybe you should have thought about doing it this way, or you see the result you got from doing what you did. This may be an alternative way to do it, or this is a way to do it better. And you're probably getting that from your teachers now when they give you your report cards, or when they give you your evaluations. They might put a little pointer on what you could do. Maybe they'll say, hey, being on time is important. Maybe you need to improve being on time. Or they may say, hey, maybe you can spend a little bit more time studying and preparing for tests. That's constructive criticism. And adults, I know you're on your jobs now, you have your annual evaluations, or maybe you have quarterly evaluations. When your supervisor is giving you feedback, I know sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow if it's not what you want to hear, but what they're trying to do is make you better. And so take it and think about it, see where you can improve, make those adjustments and improvements, and it'll help you in the future as you go along with your career. Excellent point, Tonya. Next question is, what resources or recommendations do you have for people who want to pursue a career in your field?
Hmm. The resources. Um, That's a good question. It's a really good question. I wasn't ready for that one. Give me a second. um, let's see. In order to get into the profession, of course, you have to go to school.
Mhm.
So I would first check out, do some research and check out the schools that are actually in your area
Mhm.
that actually offer this program, because all cosmetology schools do not offer aesthetics
Mhm.
as a course or whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, Also, I would look into financial aid to
Mhm.
actually get into school. Depending on your income with your parents, things like that, you could get assistance. If you have kids like me, I actually benefited because I got grants,
Mhm.
which cut my expenses like in half plus some.
Mhm.
So that was a blessing. Um, Also, um, social media, Facebook. If you check out some of the groups,
Mhm.
Facebook has a thing called Facebook groups. You
Mhm.
can type in aesthetics, or you can type in esthetician, makeup artist, anything you can pretty much think of. You can type it in, and there's probably a group for it.
Mhm.
I would check some of those groups because those are really good groups. They give you tons of information. They give you tons of resources.
Mhm.
You'll have the link that you can click on, and all of that. So yeah, social media is definitely it might be your best resource
Mhm.
to find out information to get into this field.
Awesome. Yes. A lot of Facebook groups are out there. I'm glad you brought that up. This is the first time we've talked about Facebook groups, but yes, really any profession, there is a group. All you have to do is just type it in. They may ask you 2 or 3 questions to make sure you're a legitimate person wanting to be a part of the group, and then you join the group. You can read several posts from different people who are in the profession. A lot of times they tell stories about their experiences, they give advice to each other. You could even ask questions there. You could network there to see if there's any opportunities in your area to get some experience in your field. So, yes, Facebook groups is an awesome way to connect with people and to continue to network. So I know we've probably already got several people who have a Facebook account. So all you have to do is just research the Facebook group you want to join. Okay, so next question, Tonya, is what comments do you have about the industry that people may want to know in just entering it?
Well, again, it's very saturated. Um, Especially in my location. It's so funny because prior to me becoming a licensed esthetician, I didn't see all of these estheticians. It's almost like when you purchase a car, and when you purchase the car, before you purchase the car, you don't see this car. But as soon as you purchase the car, you're like, wait, everybody has this car. So when I became a licensed esthetician, I was like, wait a minute, where are all these people coming from? Because I have not seen y'all. Where have y'all been? I've been looking for y'all. Um, some people are very competitive. Um, some people might think that, you might be interrupting and interfering with their money.
Mhm.
And it's not that, because in my experience, what's for you is for you. And, the Lord will direct your path, and your gift will make room for you.
Mhm.
And that's just that. Um, so do not be alarmed when you see a lot of people doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
Just understand that you are you, and no one can do you better than you can do
Mhm.
you.
Right.
Um, so that is one of the big challenges. Um, let's see, what else? Comments or that is one of the biggest. I don't want people, when they see this, I don't want them to get discouraged, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
Um just thinking, I'm never going to be able to break into this field. And you definitely will. You have your own following, and people are going to like certain things about you, and that's going to make them want to come to you.
That's true.
So you definitely have to make sure that you have something that stands out that makes you different from other people. Because you definitely don't want to be like everyone else. You want to be like yourself, and you want to be different. Whether that comes to your product, whether that comes to your personality, all the way down to the service that you actually provide. The experience within itself is what I give. I have a lot of clients. They may have had a person that did not give them a good service before they came to me, and they're like, oh my God, I wish I had came to you first. You made this almost painless. Now everyone knows it's very painful, but for her and them to tell me that I made it virtually painless, I'm winning. So yeah, those are some of the things I would say.
Awesome. So you brought up some great points. Just be yourself. Whatever profession you are pursuing, be yourself. No one can be you. There isn't a duplicate of you. So work on building yourself, building your brand, standing out, as Tonya has said. So look at how you're different from others. What are you bringing to the table that is different from others? And yes, your gift will make room for you. Tonya has said that several times. So there will always be competition, but there's only one you. So just work on developing and perfecting yourself, and don't get discouraged as you go throughout this process. Just continue to stay motivated. So next question is, do you enjoy what you do now?
Yes. Yes. Like when I first when I first started out, and this is just the God honest truth. When you're in school, you're learning, but you really don't learn until you're out there on your own. So I thought I knew, but I didn't know nothing. So when I started, I did not know what I was doing. I was like, oh, I have to continue to practice that. That was an epic fail. So, and I was so real with myself. I was like, oh, girl, that took too long. So, the things that I actually saw that I knew I needed to work on, I wrote them down and I immediately started executing. It's like my time. I definitely have to get my time down so I can get more people in so I can bring in more money. And then I had to get my technique down. And once I learned my technique, everything was good. I also had to find the right product. So at first, I was just testing different products, and I was like, I don't like these products. And then finally, I found the ones that I like. So now I love what I do. Do you see the smile on my face?
Yes.
That's true happiness.
Hey.
It's not made up. It's like when I go to work every day, I'm like that little egg on TV that's just bouncing. I just feel, yeah. I work from home, so I have to clock in by 8, and I get up at like 7:56. But at my business, if I know I have a client that'll be there at 9 o'clock, I'm up at 7. I'm at the studio at like 7:45, preparing, getting everything together, all types of things. Also, I like to show my clients that I appreciate them. So I make my own line of body butters, sugar scrubs, bath bombs, things like that. So sometimes, I'll just give them, some samples of things in a little bag or in a little cup with my logo and everything, because everything needs to be branded. Just to show them that I appreciate them, or give them a coupon, something to show that I appreciate them, because without them, it's no blush, waxing, and makeup studio. But I definitely enjoy what I do. It's fun. every time I do something, I get better.
Mm.
So, always growing, always willing to learn something new,
Mhm.
add something new to what I'm doing to make it better. So I definitely enjoy it.
Yes. So you brought up a great point about self-reflection. So looking at what you're doing and evaluating yourself, seeing how you can get better, seeing how you can perfect whatever your craft is. So that's awesome. I think we don't do a lot of that. We, hear from our boss or our supervisor, but when you're in your own business, you're there, is you on the line. So you are evaluating yourself. So it's always important to constantly be figuring out how to get better or to be trying new things. You talked about trying new products, testing them out, seeing what works for you. So self-reflection and evaluation is extremely important when you own your own business. So I hope if you do own your own business, you're doing that on a consistent basis. And the last question, Tonya, is when you first started in your training and education, where did you think you would be?
I didn't think I would be here. I did not think, like, if you had have asked me, Tanya, where do you think you would be 5 years from now? Back then,
Mhm,
like 5 years ago, I would not have told you a whole business on it. I never saw this coming. And
mhm,
I'm going to tell you how I know I didn't know, because I graduated in December.
mhm.
I signed the lease to my studio in January. I
Wow,
opened up in February.
wow.
And I kept questioning myself. I said, "Oh Lord, you taking me too fast. I wasn't ready." And I'm not ready. Just let me move slow.
Mhm,
And I kept praying. I kept praying. And it's like, it's right when everything just fits.
mhm,
Everything just comes together. It's like I had prayed. I was like, Lord, I don't want to work in my house anymore. I don't want these people in my house. I want to be a professional. And in
mhm,
order for me to feel like I am really a professional, I needed a location where
mhm,
people could actually come, and it's nice and it's clean and it has my name on it. So I said, I need a location and I don't want to pay no more than this amount. Literally, like within that next week, I had one of my Facebook friends, one of my old schoolmates. She sent me a message. She said, "Hey girl," she's like, I want you to take a look and talk to my friend. She's opening up a location and she's looking for an esthetician or someone to rent this spot." I said, "Okay." And I looked at it and then I went on about my business. But something kept making me go back. So I went back and I opened it up, and then I started talking to the girl. So I spoke to the girl, and she was like, I told her what was going on. Every excuse I had, she had an answer. I said, well, that's not going to work. So she said, come by on this Saturday and come look at the location.
mhm,
So I met her out there, and ironically, she didn't have the key. She was like, well, dang, it might not be. Maybe I said, well, maybe it's just not meant to be. But the people that were working on the building at that time just pulled up and they had a key.
Wow.
I said, oh my goodness. So then she was like, do you like it? I was like, I do. I said, it's in a perfect location. She was
Mhm,
like, so you have to pay this amount down and you sign the paper and you're in there. And I had the money. That wasn't an issue. I was like, I actually have the money. Had the money.
okay.
And then from there, she helped she helped me get everything in order, because starting a business it was my first time. I didn't know anything. So I had to get it registered with Greenville County. I had to get my EIN. I had to wait for my license, and then I had to get my license, inspections, make sure everything is where it's supposed to be.
Mhm,
And everything came together so quickly and so neatly. And I was like, okay, Lord, I'm going to do this. Actually, you're going to do this,
mhm,
because I ain't want no parts of this because I don't know anything about this. You got me out here doing this thing by myself and I don't have a clue.
Mhm.
And I have not missed a beat. I never missed a rent payment. I never worried about not having enough money in the business account to pay the rent. I never had to worry about not having enough money to get my supplies to be able to do what it is that I do.
Mhm.
Is it just came together. So I would have never thought that I would be here, but I'm glad I am. And it's a humbling experience because I'm like, little old me. You know, we used to go to recreation camp together.
Mhm. Yep.
Never known this.
Mhm.
Like, I never saw this. No one in my immediate family has ever achieved this.
Wow.
That is a great feeling. And I hope that my kids, that I'm instilling something into my kids that, hey, you can do anything you want to. And you can be anything that you want to be. It just takes hard work and dedication. And if you have those two things, then you'll be able to persevere. You'll be okay.
Hmm. Awesome. I have a colleague who always says, write the vision, make the plan. So that's exactly what you did. You wrote your vision of how much you wanted to pay for your rental space for your business. And then you made a plan. You started talking to people and trying to figure out where you were going to go from there. But you already had it set what you were willing to pay. So I think a lot of times we get lost when we want to start a business or find a new job or pursue a new career. We don't know what direction we want to take, but just take some paper and write it down. This is my goal. This is my vision for myself. This is what I want for my career. And then get out there and start researching, seeing what it would cost to go back to school if that's what you want to do, seeing what it would cost to start your own business, what type of supplies you need. Just do your research. And we are here at the library for you if you need support. You can reach out to us anytime. Our doors are not open just yet. We're only doing curbside, but once we get back open, we're there for you and we can help guide you in your research process. And then the last question is for me. It's basically, what are some resources the library offers for people who are new to the job market? Maybe they're changing careers or they're looking for new work due to the COVID-19 emergency. So basically, what you can do now is visit us at pgcmls.info. That's our website. If you go to our online library, you can look into our jobs and careers section. Once there, you will be at the Brain Fuse Career Transition and Learning Express Library. In those three places, you can access career assessments. You can talk to a live job coach. If you're a veteran, there's services for veterans there who are looking to change careers or pursue a new career. If you are looking to prepare for college, there are college entrance exams, practice tests there, and any type of citizenship tests that you need to take to prepare for citizenship. There's also tutorials and basic skills for math, reading, and writing, and so much more. So visit our website at any time. It's up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for access through your library card number. Tonya, it has been wonderful talking to you today. We really appreciate you coming on the show, telling us about being a makeup artist and esthetician. I learned so much today. I know our viewers learned so much as well. I hope that our viewers will look into this as a potential career option. Maybe they didn't think that was something that they wanted to go into, and now they're interested. Please do your research if you are interested. Visit us at our website, contact us. We're here to help you. And again, thanks for joining us, Tonya. And I'll see everyone again next Wednesday when we have another amazing person on our show for Career Chat. Thank you. Bye-bye.